Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for following along, subscribing, like, share, tag, all that good stuff. We haven't done a update for a while, so we thought we'd do one in this snowy mess we've got. We just went and got this one yesterday, 1976 GMC Sierra Classic, 350, 203. Somebody's changed it to lockouts. Went up to Nebraska actually and got this one. The guy had used it to haul water to his cattle and then decided he didn't need it anymore. It's got your typical rust, but overall decent truck. Ironically, last year we picked up exactly the same truck, just a Chevrolet. Interior's a little rough, but I got a good red seat for it, and a lot of that other stuff would clean up really good. So should have a wood grain dash bezel in it, but it's obviously long gone. Truck does run and drive. I think it's out of gas right now. I can get it to start, but it won't stay running. Gas gauge is on E, but tailgate's been changed. It's blue now. It is a GMC tailgate, but it's just blue, not black like the truck is. Factory black truck, which is fairly uncommon in these years. A lot of them were earth tones, or the greens, the tans, reds, stuff like that. But somebody wants to buy it, $24.50, but I'm actually thinking about maybe lifting it a little bit, 2-inch lifts and 33s, and get it running and driving good. Clean up the interior, just drive it the way it is. But $24.50 if somebody wants to take it off my hands. And this is a 76 we bought, I don't know, another 76. This is a Silverado, so it had the full wood grain and all that in it. It's been sold. Doors that took off and they're inside. But it still has a 350 in it. It's got a really good seat in it. Instrument clusters inside the shop. Steering columns been sold. But she's pretty rough. Unfortunately, this truck had like 80,000 original miles on it, and it was parked in the late 90s, early 2000s, left for dead. And the rodents just really got to it. You can kind of see there. Underhood's really bad. No idea why it was parked, but all the interior's been sold. But still a good drivetrain in it. Probably end up cutting the roof off. A lot of guys are needing that. Their roofs rust out, or somebody cuts a hole in the roof or something like that. So it has good emblems on it, some trim. And then this one is an 83. This one and this one actually came from the same spot. 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive, 6.2 diesel with a 400 transmission, 208 transfer case. It's rough. Hit everything but the lottery. But it's got locking differentials in it. 410s, 411s, whatever you want to say. But the roof's a little crushed in. Headlight bezels are still good. But just a good parts truck. Somebody wants to rebody it, it'd be good for that. No idea about the motor and transmission. I need to see if that motor will turn. I need to put a bar on the crankshaft, see if I can at least get it turned. Have somebody interested in that. But if somebody wants this complete truck the way it is without me doing any work to it, $1,200. Or we'll just keep it, and that fender's not too bad. A little crunched on the bottom, but that can be repaired. we'll keep it and part it out. Slowly building our inventory back up. We have a pretty big swap meet at the end of February, 1st of March. So that one will not be parted out. That one and that one will be. So when they have titles and they runs, we don't part them out unless they're just way too far gone. But so that's what we got going on there. Let me show you this one. Not that one. That's a truck I just bought here a month ago for my boy Braden. And I've been driving it because it's full drive and it does great and it doesn't get my other truck all messy with all this winter weather. This is a step side, half-ton, 2-wheel drive that we will be restoring for Jordan is his name. Pretty rust-free truck. It's going to get a 5.3. It's going to get a modern drivetrain. It should be here next week. 4.5 drop. Freshen up the interior. It was this light blue. I think this was an 85, if I remember right. You can see that light blue right there. Parts of it are kind of coming off. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. So we're going to go back with that. But it's in really good shape. It's been sitting in a barn for I don't know how long up in Iowa. I don't even know how long it's been sitting there, but so that's next on the list. Get that in, start disassembling it. It's not going to be a full-blown like the Spirit of 76 truck, which actually will be back next week. I've got to go get it. Well, you can't see the enclosed trailer, but it's right there. Go get it in the enclosed trailer so we can finish putting it together, but it'll still be really nice. You know, we probably won't powder coat the frame and all that, but we'll just clean it up and paint the frame and all that. But it'll still be a nice truck that I'll be able to enjoy. But it's kind of cool. It actually came from Arizona originally, but you can see Brickyard 400, Phoenix International Raceway. So whoever had it was a huge race fan, which is pretty cool. But short bed, 2-wheel drive stepper that actually is in really good shape. So it's pretty nice when you don't have, you know, everything rusted out, floorboards and all that, because then the body guy just, you have to spend more money. But we'll get that one in here probably within a month or so and start disassembling it and going through it. Probably be a 3 to 4 year project, maybe not quite that long. That's all just depends on body work and parts availability, all that. So we'll go inside here. But actually going to get another one in Western Kansas tomorrow, a 1980 long bed 4-wheel drive, blue in color, but it's already sold. So if this weather would cooperate. All right, now we're inside here. Yes, we still have this truck, but we're on the downhill of it. Went and got me a heat gun so I can finish out that, get it all trimmed. But I don't think if I ever did this again, I would buy the vinyl. It's just too hard to deal with, even being left out. And they way over, you can see how big it is. I got this much material on the other side too. So you got a lot of trimming to do, whereas the carpet, you've got a little bit of trimming, but they fit a lot better than the vinyl does. And this actually came from, was it ACC Carpets? But it is what it is. But we're on the downhill with this. This is Aubrey and Russ's 79. If you guys have been following along, this truck was pretty much left for dead. So I got the choke wired up. I actually started wiring it's got a 700 R4 in it, and we need to wire up the torque converter clutch so it engages and disengages. And so I had to get a new connector that goes on the transmission, and then you wire it in to your brake switch so it can get shut off when you apply the brakes. And just a couple of little things. Need to adjust that door. And weather outside, obviously you saw, is so crappy, so I can't even really drive it. But just a little list. Need to get the hood put back on. And I would say within a couple weeks it'll be back to them and they can enjoy it and bust snowdrifts with it. So, and then this is a buddy's K5 that we've been putting back together. He's actually got the frame for that 72 short bed we're doing. Doing some work to it. This is just a 79 K5, 2-inch lift, some 33s. Looks great. Got to put a AM/FM factory radio in place of the cassette player that's in there. Just makes it look a little bit better. But then once I get that in there, we'll put the new bezel in and get all that finished. Been having the carpet lay out. Once we get some insulation down, we'll put the carpet down. But last week I worked on getting the door panels on, new wing windows, wing windows that I had, all new rubbers. That dash pad is USA One Industries. The door panels are LMC. They'll work in a pinch, but they're really not the greatest because they're a hard plastic and they like to crack if you're not careful. But they look fine for just being a nice, cool driver. They'll be fine. And we've got all the interior trim. We need to get that all painted and get a headliner put in it. And I got to get some exhaust on it. It's got new exhaust sitting under there. It's LMC exhaust, which actually is pretty reasonable for what it costs, and it's actually pretty self-explanatory on these. Pretty easy to do. And then, and if you see here, there's the seats for this K5 Blazer. They've been reconditioned and recovered. But there's the rear end for the 72. That's some of the stuff's there. I'm gonna get the trailing arms off, get the bushings pushed out, get them powder coated. Because we're using different shocks, or excuse me, different springs and everything for the rear, since it'll be just a little bit lower stance on this truck. But it is a 12-bolt 373 locking differential, so we're just going to use it. I'm just going to get all that off and get it on some jack stands and open it up, see what it looks like. New seals, bearings if it needs it, and go from there. New brakes. We're going to put disc brakes on the back, disc brake conversion and all that. But I got to get all this done so when Chase is ready for to have the frame rolling, we can get that stuck up back up under there. And this is an 80. You can see 80 short bed, 4-wheel drive. I've had this truck a little over a year, sold it. The gentleman never picked it up, and so I just sent him his money back. So I think I'm going to build this truck. It's a 350 205 in 1980. Everything was a 205. Transfer case. It's not a 350 anymore. It's some 283 out of an Impala. But I'm pretty sure it's locked up. But I've been stealing parts off of it. It had a big 4-core radiator. That is now actually in Aubrey's truck. I had it reconditioned and whatnot, but this was a really, really cool truck. I might have done a walk around video on this one at one time, but so you can see it was a gray with the black in the middle, and then the interior was, you can see the white, and the seat was actually a white vinyl, but it was completely junk because it didn't have a back glass in it. And then I had this blue one I just stuck in it. But so the dash, you can see that gray there. The dash was gray. Your door panels are white. Your upper's white. Your carpet's gray. So that's a Mystic interior with the gray. Man, this thing had to have been a looker when it was brand new. And it's a pretty lowly option Silverado. And actually, for those that are still following along, you can go to gmheritage.com, go to their archives, and if you don't have a SPID label, you know, the label in your glove box, now this is for 1977 and up for the GM trucks. I don't know about anything else, but just for the GM trucks, 1977 and up, you can get a factory invoice for them. And then they send you like the brochure, they email everything in PDF. So I got one for this truck. So even though it is a Silverado, it just doesn't have all the options. I mean, it does have cruise control, tilt, which the tilt's long gone. That's a straight column, but I have another column for it. No power windows or locks. It does have the V22, which in 1980, if it didn't have the V22, it still had the round like this one does. This is a 79, or the V22, which is the square, which I think they were just trying to get people used to having square headlights and going into the 1981 model year. You can still see it has the original grille in it, which is chrome. So in 1980, it would have this grille, just not chrome, and the round headlights if it did not have the V22. So a lot of people think it's a mid-year thing, this and that. It's not. It's V22 appearance package would be your square headlights. Now this is a love them or hate them. I think when I do restore this truck, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Just because it's different. You know, it's got the face only a mother could love type thing, if you know what I mean. But the body's completely junk. I think this is the only good body panel on it, is this fender, probably because it's been replaced at one time, it looks like. But you know, I'll just collect parts for it, and eventually I'll kind of go back to factory on it, maybe put an LS in it that looks modern, but might just go stock looking. I don't mind the stock looking with a little 2-inch lift, kind of like that K5 has, some 33s. That looks really good. But that's a long way down the line, and actually going to put some rollers on it and shove it against the wall. But let me show you guys and gals. This is a packet. When we do these trucks for customers, we have a packet. Keep all the receipts and everything, track of our labor, but I'm going to show you. So I told you, gmheritage.com, and you can see, so it's emailed through everything, and for 50 bucks, you can get the factory invoice. So you can see the invoice on this was $6674.92, and the suggested retail was $8,488. So on the lot, that would have the window sticker would have had suggested retail of about 8,500 bucks for this 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive. This was a 400 203, so 400 engine, 400 transmission, and a 203 transfer case truck for 1979. Now to put it in comparison, I did one on this truck also, and this truck is a 1980 with a 350, you know, 4-wheel drive, and it was $10,000 and some dollars suggested retail. So you could actually buy a 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive, you know, and this is a year difference, of course, so I don't know what a 1980 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive would have been, but for less money than a half ton short bed. So, but anyway, Aubrey's truck did not have a SPID in it, SPID label, you know, option label in the glove box. So I went ahead and just did this for them, since they got the truck done through me and all that. But it came from Frankfort, Kansas, which there is still a dealership there, but it's not called Whiteway anymore. I don't remember what it's called. Just a small little Chevrolet dealer. But you can see 6.6 MX1 automatic transmission, which that could be 350 or 400. In the glove box, it probably would have differentiated for sure, but it did definitely have a 400 transmission. But just a Scottsdale, but just pretty much not a highly optioned truck, but you know, and at the time it was probably bought as a farm truck or whatever, especially that farming community. Frankfort's about 30-40 minutes north of Manhattan, but pretty cool. So that's gmheritage.com, You just go to the archives and you fill out, you put your VIN in there, your name, and then you send it. They email you back. You pay the $50, and then they send you this copy, and you can go ahead and print it out. Pretty cool. So now that's only for 1977 and up. Unfortunately, they don't have 77 and prior, which is kind of a bummer, because that black truck I just showed you at the beginning of the video, unfortunately the SPID label is gone in it, and definitely like to have one on it. Spirit of 76 that we have, it does have a SPID label, because on that truck you definitely have to have those to prove that it's a Spirit of 76. However, it'd be nice to have the invoice on it too, but it is what it is. So, but anyway, look how nice that tailgate is. Unfortunately, the bed is pretty roached, but we'll look for her one on this. But anyway, happy Friday. Stay warm. Hadn't done a walk around for a while. Wanted to show you some trucks. We plan on getting a lot more coming in. We're really going to concentrate on 4-wheel drives. Those are really popular around here. You know, if a 2-wheel drive comes up, then we'll get it. But with the swap meet coming up here in a month, our inventory room is overflowing, and we'll take our enclosed trailer and get it filled up, and we'll have a good time at the swap meet, meet a lot of people, stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for following along. Thanks for watching, liking, tagging, all that good stuff. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on the next video.